Your kids can make an impact for Christ without you even knowing it. You're going to love hearing from our special guest today on Family Vision.
Hi, my name is Emily Rienow. Welcome to Family Vision, the podcast from Visionary Family Ministries, encouraging families through practical, encouraging, and real conversations.
Rob Rienow here with Visionary Family Ministries. I think one of the greatest things that Christian parents can experience is hearing a story of how God uses one of our kids to shine for Christ. I want to share a conversation with you today between Amy and a young man named Andrew Reinhart. Andrew and his family went to Gull Lake Family Camp with our family for many, many years. And he shared a story with Amy about how our oldest son, RW, impacted his life when Andrew was just 13 years old. The story meant a lot to us personally, but we also took away some powerful lessons and principles from what Andrew shared. So here we go, Amy's interview with Andrew Reinhardt from the summer of 2023.
Rob and I and the kids have just had a fabulous week up here at Gull Lake Ministries. I have to admit that it's probably one of my favorite places on earth. And what has been really special about this week is that for the first time we are here with 4 generations. My parents are with us for the first time, and we have Lissy and Bond and Avi. So really, it's been such an amazing week of ministry. I think it was maybe the first day or second day in lunch. I was standing in line. I said hi to Andrew. He has a twin, so I get confused who I'm talking to. We'll get into that a little bit later. I said hi to Andrew, and he brought up that we first met Andrew's family when we first came to Gull Lake back in 2013. And that was our first experience as the Rienow family. I remember being pregnant with Rush. So just to put perspective where we were in our family life. And Andrew reminded me of just a fantastic memory of my first time here at Gull Lake. Do you want to?
Yeah, so one night we were out there really, really late because we were 13, 14-year-old boys just ripping around with our bikes and scooters as people do around here. And we start hearing a fire alarm. We're like, what in the world? Is there a fire or something? And I think you can kind of take over the story from here.
I think when we were in line, my favorite part of that, I'm just enjoying our conversation in the lunch line, and Andrew says, so was it Ray who pulled the fire alarm that first year? And I was like, oh, you remember that.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Ray, and he was 3. And I can still, in my mind's eye, remember, I think I was in a conversation, obviously, with a woman and just chatting. And over in the corner, I'm watching my 3-year-old head towards a fire alarm and see his hand go up to pull it. But, there's literally nothing I can do. And it was not a pretty sight, I remember, because this was in the dining hall where everybody had those sleeping rooms above the dining hall. So they all have to get up. I mean, let's just say Rob and I were shocked when our family was asked back to speak at Gull Lake Ministry after that. But it was even funnier that you brought that up. And then I'm like, I'm not the only one who remembers. Andrew remembers as well. But we were here then. Our W would have been going into, I think, his sophomore year. And then, so Lissy, I can't even do all the math on the 8th grade. And then JD was probably maybe in your
He was
group.
I think he was 1 year younger.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit more about what you said after, of course, reminding me of Ray's little mishap. Yes, about.
Yeah, so I was a 7th grader at the time, and obviously that time is a time of severe insecurity for young boys especially, and a lot of young boys don't even know that that's what they're feeling or want to admit that. But I was there with my twin and my best friend, Daniel Wilt, as well. Us 3 were the same age. We'd been best friends since the age of 6, and we were kind of just hanging out, doing our own thing, because we didn't really know other people our age here at camp. Mm-hmm. And we kind of were feeling insecure about that. And I remember very distinctly, we were at the Gaga ball pit, and this young man named RW comes over, and he's like, hey, you guys want to be friends? Like, let's play Gaga ball. So we hit it off right away, and he continues to seek us out the rest of the week. Like that, I don't know if that's just the way he is, the way he's been taught to be, because that's definitely something that is taught and learned. And I remember very, very distinctly as well that he taught me how to jump. So this doesn't seem like a big thing right now, but I promise it plays into a little bit of my story later. I was over playing basketball, and I was horrible. But RW was a good basketball player. He was a really good basketball player, actually. And I remember he's like, man, like, you have potential to jump really high. We're going to get you touching the backboard by the end of the week. And I'm like, I can't jump. So he taught me how to jump, which...
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even hear that part of the story. That's so cool.
And I can share a little bit more about that. So he taught me how to jump, and then later, that helped me pay for school because I was able to do track and field and high jump.
That is awesome.
Now I coach as well, and I think that's a huge ministry opportunity for me to not only get my education, but then use that to coach and teach others as well.
Awesome. You know, Andrew, when he told me, the reason why I wanted to have this conversation, because Andrew told me just a little of that. I didn't hear about the jumping part until now, but we talk so much at VFM about being a lighthouse family, not just thinking that as adults we have to think about how God is using us as adults, but that God can use our kids at any stage in their life, and we often don't know how God is using them. Part of it for RWC, he just enjoyed being the oldest. He was so used to having so many kids younger than him that it wasn't weird. Like, he enjoyed that company. He always enjoyed that. And so it's such a good reminder to me that even now, like, you just don't know how God is using your kids. Yeah. And so when we say we're calling families to this lighthouse family ministry, you have just, it's wonderful when God gives you a glimpse of how he can use you. But it's not just our family. God uses all sorts of families. Like I said, we already had Ray pull a fire alarm, but we had RW have this awesome ministry that week that we really didn't know was happening. Andrew, tell me a little bit more about you and your family, because I've had a chance to talk to your parents, and I remember actually your dad from that first week we met, because just to show you how the generations minister to one another. Yeah. RW, of course, was going in sophomore. He was my oldest. He was interested in engineering, and at the time I was thinking my brother had gone to University of Illinois, like a big secular school for engineering, and I met your dad who had gone to Cedarville, and I found out, hey, Christian schools do have engineering, and that was a conversation that really stuck with me and kind of helped in guiding RW when we were in that age of looking for colleges. So tell me a little bit more about your family, and specifically how Gull Lake, or how that works into your family story.
Yeah, so Gull Lake was introduced to us when I was about 11 years old, and it was really impactful because it's not just a family camp. Some family camps, like, the kids go off and do their own thing the entire time, and the adults do their own thing the entire time. But this was, like they said, a multi-generational experience where we can go back at housing at night and we can talk about the same things because we all experienced it.
Right.
And it builds this, like, sense of faith community even within our family, of experiences that we've gotten to share, and laughs and fun, and we can reflect on in years to come. And it really sets a tone for our family when we come back home, that this is stuff we can talk about. We can talk about our faith, and we can share those things with each other. Coming out of that summer was a really big flip in the way that my parents parented us. There was a couple of different things. I'll call them kingdom touches, ways in which God is individually, like, pulling us with the Spirit or other people, or however he chooses to do this, kingdom touches. So the Rienow family, they were a kingdom touch in 2013. Not only was RW to me, but so were his parents in the speaker sessions with my parents. And so they came away from that being able to be equipped to teach us how to live a better faith and a better Christian life. And it was just such a great year for us. And I really think that God flipped a switch in my parents' marriage and lives, specifically around that 2012, 2013, through a multitude of events. But one of those events was Gull Lake Family Camp with your family.
Wow. And I have been so blessed to see and learn more about your family this week, and all the ways, like, his brother, Crock and Roll, is serving on leadership here, and two other brothers serving here at camp. And I love watching the impact that you're having as a family, and seeing, not, it's kind of interesting when you meet someone, like I met Base
Base
Jam.
Jam, yep.
Yeah, you'll have to understand Gull Lake has all these camp names,
yep.
not real names, so you'll just have to bear with me in this conversation. But I met your brother Base Jam, was really impressed with him and impressed with his worship leading, and then it's interesting, like, oh wait, they're connected to this family. You see the influence of what your parents, how they've poured into you, and I can see it. It's really amazing to see.
Yeah.
Tell us what you are doing now, Andrew.
Yeah, so this also circles back into the way RW kind of sought us out. He sought us out, and that always made an impact in me because another person told me this later down the road, but this is exactly how I felt about him, and then it kind of impressed upon me the type of person I want to try to be, because that's who Christ is. There's two types of people that walk into a hypothetical room. The type of person that walks in the room and says, here I am, everybody look at me. And then there's the type of person that walks in the room and says, there you are.
I love that.
And that's the type of person RW was. That's the type of person Jesus Christ was. And that's the type of person that I would like to be through the Spirit's power. And so because of that, my senior year of high school, I'm picking my major. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. And I'm like, man, I want to make a lot of money because that's what the world says is right. But then all these kingdom touches that I talked about in the past kept reminding me, like, there's something more impactful. There's something more fulfilling than just money. And so I started praying about it. And I wanted to be in a position, in a type of a role that I could make these kind of kingdom touches and be like, there you are, there you are, there you are. And so as I prayed about it, God kind of led me to work with the 5th grade group of individuals at my school, my senior year. I had 3 study halls in a row. I started doing that, and God kind of made it very evident that I was to be a middle school teacher.
Wow.
And so I'm living my dream. I'm being a middle school teacher currently until God calls me to do something else, and it's a dream come true. It's awesome. I love it.
Andrew, there's so many things that you've been saying in this conversation that I'm going to take away that have been meaningful to me. And I just want to encourage you that we talked about this in the session, but you are in the front lines in that ministry right now. I mean, to be in the thick of dealing with middle schoolers with everything they are facing in this culture.
Yeah.
I praise God not only that He called you, but that He has been equipping you for this ministry. So I want to, first of all, thank you so much for taking this time, especially at Family Week, to do this interview with me. It's not only blessed me, but it's going to bless a lot of people who listen. And I'm going to take that phrase you used, kingdom touches. Like, I love that. And to just encourage all of you that in Visionary Family Ministries, we are always promoting multi-generational teaching, multi-generational events. We see the value of these family camps. We see the value of multi-generational ministry. And another phrase you used, you said, God flipped a switch. And you just never know when God's going to do that, right? And it's amazing to see that kind of transformation and how that has an effect, not just for an individual, but it can affect not only your current family, but a family for generations to come. So thanks so much for being with us today. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, your whole family. It's been so fun to be here with you guys. Yeah. And I appreciate you telling your story with us today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I hope this conversation's been an encouragement to you. You can learn more about Gull Lake Ministries at their website, gullake.org. And we also encourage you to check out some of these other incredible family camps that we have had the privilege of being a part of over the years. Forest Springs up in Wisconsin, Maranatha in Michigan, Cedar Bay up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, as well as Pine Cove down in Texas and North Carolina. Those family camps have made a huge impact in the life of our family. And as always, we want to hear from you. What did you learn from today's episode? What was meaningful for you? And of course, prayer requests for your family. We would love to hear from you. We're available to pray with you, available to pray for you. You can send those prayer requests to us at podcast@visionaryfam.com. And we're looking forward to our next time together with you on Family Vision.